Hi, good morning. Welcome. It's ALICIA PLOSZ, MRS.CURVE. I am the reigning international curve queen, and welcome to Body Confidence, where we get to learn to embrace thy beautiful selves, whatever that looks like. Happy Wednesday. Thank you for coming on. I'm just going to turn my volume up a little bit. There we go. I feel like it's a little quiet. Ooh, shaky, shaky. Good morning, good morning. For me, it's morning. It is Wednesday, in case you forgot. For me, it's morning. I'm not sure where you are in the world. Joining in for me, let me know where you are in the world. I am in Canada, on the west coast of Canada, west-ish coast, and it is morning for me. It is 10 a.m. Mountain Time for me. So where are you joining in from today? My beautiful guest is also going to be on the same time zone for me. She is also Canadian, and she is going to be joining me from Saskatchewan, Canada. Her name is LEGGE. Hi Tatiana, good morning. How are you today? Good morning for you as well, Canadian. Wednesday, such a beautiful day. So for those of you who do not know, I am, hi Janessa, it is, Saskatoon. You are also from Canada. Look at all those beautiful Canadians. Represent. Okay, so I am, yes, Team Canada, that's right. Good morning, good morning. Oh, see, good morning. I am also, for those of you who don't know, a makeup artist, and I had the privilege of being on a couple of different sets and venues this week, and I took a lot of pictures, and my phone was full. So anybody here like me and likes to take a lot of pictures, and then your phone gets just saturated with all your pictures, like you edit them, and then you have like 5 copies of the same picture or different social media, and then you're on like a WhatsApp group, and then everything just pops into your phone, and your phone all of a sudden it says storage full. So I was on a set this Saturday and on last Wednesday, and also I think Thursday morning on photo shoots doing makeup, and then also I do on the side take a bunch of help people with their social media, taking content pictures as well for fun, just because it's funsy for me. And so I was taking images of my friends for their social media and editing pictures on my phone, and then all of a sudden my storage was full. So on Thursday morning, I went and got my mail, and I was very excited that my brand new, isn't this beautiful, MRS.GLOBE thumb drive came in. So I'm just showing this because I love toys, I love gifties, I love things in the mail. And this just happened to come in the mail. And so my storage was full on Thursday. And on Thursday, it's funny how things happen in Kismet, came in the mail. So I got to play with this yesterday, and I was so excited that I had to share it because this morning I dumped my phone, and now I have all this free space. So now I feel like I'm going to have to do a photo shoot or something fun with my phone so that I can play and then refill my phone storage, because now I have all this fun storage that I did not have last week. So anyway, that was off tangent and not on there. So you can go to MRS.GLOBE and get these beautiful with the crown logo. Aren't they gorgeous and clear, and they light up? Oh, it's beautiful. Anyways, now my phone is empty and I have all this free space. So my guest, LEGGE, is going to be joining us shortly. We're going to be talking about body confidence because that is our show in a minute. So that was off topic, but it was perfect timing. Hi, Holly.
Hi.
How are you? Sorry, I was off topic because I love new toys. I got my new thumb drive in the mail on Thursday, same day that have you seen the MRS.GLOBE thumb drives?
I know, I love them.
But I got mine like the same day that my storage was full, right after I did a photo shoot on my phone. And so anyway, it was off topic, but I was excited because I like toys, and I never get fun stuff anymore because I don't shop.
Lisa.
Hi. How are you? How's
I'm
life?
doing really good. I mean, I've had a really productive morning so far. But
You look fantastic.
so do you, as per usual.
I only get to see your picture, so I was like, I miss your face.
I miss your face too. Gee. And the pandemic doesn't make anything very easy for anyone to see anyone, so whatever, right?
I know. I was looking forward to seeing you in June, so it's nice. I'll get to see you soon. So,
yeah.
For those of you who don't know, I did meet Holly through the pageant, through the MRS.GLOBE in Canada, and then also in China. We got to reconnect, and so that's fun. So we have met several times.
Yes.
Oh yeah, see Tatiana Rumi. She's like, that's funny. So, Holly, so you started your pageant journey, but you started your onstage journey before pageantry. You started it through bodybuilding. So it was a little bit different, right?
Yeah, very different compared to pageantry for sure. I guess I've been bodybuilding now like since 2013. So it has been, I sort of think about that. I'm like, it's been 7 years, but yeah, like it's been a long time being in the fitness industry, and then having a little bit of that transition over to pageantry in 2017 was certainly welcomed. That's for sure.
Right. So you were on stage, and you were already a little bit prepped for on stage, and even in bodybuilding, you were in heels and bikinis. So it was a little bit, you were already a tiny bit of a transition. You were already kind of used to being a little bit on stage to prep you for pageant, because some people, that's the scary part for pageantry, is bathing suits and heels. So you were already, you had that little position covered, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I think that's a really good point that you just said before we continue on is like, yes, there was like a little bit of preparation in regards to stage. And I think for any of the delegates that are tuning in that are sort of new to pageantry and thinking about going into it like in the future, just not to worry so much about the bikini portion of things. Although I had some experience with it, I feel like when you go into pageantry, it's just so much different no matter what. And I think it's sort of a shell shock no matter what situation you're in. So, I mean, like, just cross your fingers that it's going to be fine, because it always is.
it's true, and I had zero experience. I didn't even barely wear a bathing suit to the actual pool prior to in real life. Prior with like shorts and tank, like it wasn't a thing for me. But you in pageantry, you wear nylons, you wear a bathing suit. I chose to wear a sheer cover up. So I was more clothed on stage in a pageant than I would have been just going to the pool. So, and you feel sexy, and you have full hair and makeup and all this jewelry. You don't feel naked. You know what I mean? Like you feel elegant, and you feel, and then you just, it's totally different. And it's like a minute amount of time you're actually on stage. And then behind the stage, you can choose to wear a robe if you want and just take it off, walk the stage, come back. Like it's such, that for a minute, it was a big part of my mind game, my headspace, that I was like, oh, and then when I was actually there, I'm like, oh, it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, and like when I compare the bodybuilding to the pageantry, it's almost difficult to compare them, because in bodybuilding land, it really was all about the physique. That's actually what you're going on stage for. You're being judged based on how a body looks. I feel like in pageantry, of course, there is an element of body that matters, of course. But at the same time, it's different, especially with Mrs. Globe. It's very sophisticated, it's very professional, and you're showcasing yourself in an elegant fashion that hues and bleeds into classy. It's not necessarily about physique and what her bum looks like. It's about what does that woman embody in that state, who she is. Because the thing is, I think a woman, and going towards that body confidence subject, I think a woman, when she's truly body confident, can embody all of those sorts of outfits and demeanors in a really amazing way. And I think it's amazing that Mrs. Globe touches on not only, say, an evening gown, but also a swimsuit in an elegant fashion in conjunction with a personality profile, where we're talking and actually using our mouths to embody what we actually are wanting to say and what it means to be a woman, right? So there's definitely 3 facets with it. And I think we really hone in on the swimsuit thing, and we're like, oh my gosh, it's a swimsuit. But it's not just the swimsuit and the body in the suit. It's who is that woman, and what is she really bringing to stage? What sets her apart?
It's the confidence you portray, for sure. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
So for you, for going from, because I know we had a couple of conversations behind the scenes when we were like in the hotel, like in the room. It's fun. That's the best part. I feel like for a lot of the girls that choose to travel with their family and everything, you miss a lot of the behind the scenes parts of it. Like that was my favorite part when we went to China's sitting in the room and like eating peanut butter out of the jar, like in the bed in the hotel room, and like just having like those conversations. We had talked a little bit about how you had just come off of like the first time you had competed. You were coming off of your bodybuilding win. You had won a big title in Canada. What was the title you had won prior to the Mrs. Canada? Because you won Mrs. Canada Globe, but you had just won a big Canadian title as well for bodybuilding. What was that title?
Oh, okay. So if we're kind of referring to 2017, I had done the Mrs. Canada Globe. I got that title, and then I went and I had done a world international show, and I actually got the world title there. And then I went to Mrs. Globe, placing, I think, 6th in that international contest. Then I had a little bit of a break, and then when you and I met in China, I had just finished winning kind of a regional show. Then I had a national show. I had done well there. And then I met you as sort of an alumni. So there was a few different titles that I have won. I have 3 world titles, though, in bodybuilding. And so I guess I was just coming off of one of those a year prior to us sitting in that hotel room and sort of talking about things.
Because you were just coming off of where you were still like in your like bodybuilding form. So you were tight and toned and feeling bulkier, like you had said. And we were sitting there, and you had said that you were comparing yourself to the girls that were more like long, lean muscles. Yes. And you said you felt more masculine, and I was like, I didn't see it. But you feel your own, everybody feels their own feelings. And it's hard. It's so unfair. We always compare, and it's unfair. And it's true. We always want what we don't have, right? So I was looking at you and thinking, oh, she's so tight and so toned, and everything there's like 0 body fat, which is exactly what you wanted a bodybuilding physique, right? So when you put your dress on, everything was just fit exactly so. And then you were looking at other girls that were like long and lean and tall and just had like maybe a different type of muscle tone, because you appreciate muscle tone a little bit differently as well as being a bodybuilder, right? Where I don't see it that way because I don't bodybuild. And so you were seeing different things in dresses that I wouldn't see. You were seeing like muscle, and different translation in a dress. And so you said you felt more masculine and you wanted to look more feminine, and you were stressing about it, right? And I was like, I didn't see it that way, right? We all have our own insecurities, and everyone has their own different confidence level. And it was so funny how we were sitting in a room with 87 of the most beautiful women in the whole world, and every single person there should have been like so confident, and we were all so insecure in our own way. Like it was so like doesn't matter how beautiful we are, we still don't have that 100% enough, right?
Yes. Yes, and I think that was a really big learning moment for me, because yes, I was absolutely at one of my most leanest or quote unquote skinniest moments in my life, but yet there still was that hue of insecurity. And I really was reflecting on that a lot during my journey. And actually, when I went to Thailand after that, I remember really doing some like close self-reflection and meditation in regards to that, and really questioned, why was it that I wasn't feeling confident in that moment? Because you're right, when you're in a room with 87 of the most beautiful women in the world, it's a privilege. It shouldn't be an insecurity moment. It should be a, wow, I feel empowered to be amongst such educated, incredibly stunning women inside and out. And I think that was really difficult for me. And I think over the past year and a half, I've done a lot of learning and a lot of moments of self-reflection and figuring out, why wasn't I body confident back then? And why all of a sudden, you know, me not being the skinniest I've ever been, why all of a sudden, you know, am I body confident? It's a really interesting thing, because being super skinny or whatever it is at that time really wasn't a reflection of how the inside was truly feeling. And as an aside, I really think that that shows to the judges. I think judges can pick up on that. Like they know whether someone is or isn't confident, because it really just spews out into that stage that you're walking down. And for some reason in 2018, I was really going through a lot of internal struggles in regards to body confidence. I was sort of growing in a direction I wasn't 100% okay with. And then finally, I hit a little bit of a breaking point, sort of when I went to Thailand and had a few weeks there. And then I kind of came back to Canada, regrouped, did a lot of self-reflection. And then I think I've come out of it on the other side, really a better person.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's true. Like you, excuse me, you, even in your, like the way you're like, how you weren't in competition mode right now. We were in competition mode. You put a lot of sweat equity into your body. So you were solely focused on your body and what your body looked like and how your body translated. And it could have, like, I don't know, I'm not you, but I feel when you are so focused on a singularity goal and not a whole, like your mind, body, and soul, it's hard when you're so like when you're going for a goal, right? And right now there's no goal, there's no competition, there's nowhere, you're not focused on a stage, right? You can focus on your soul a little bit more.
Yes.
If that makes sense. Because you were saying you had a world goal, a national goal, and then a pageant goal, and then another national goal, and then another pageant goal. You had a lot of goals, always running for a goal, and now you have a little bit more time just to focus on a goal of unity, mind, body, soul goal. And so the goal is you, and so that's probably why you feel a little bit more confident in who you are as a person, because you don't have to work towards a goal, if that makes sense.
I 100% think I agree with that 100%. I have backed off from coaching women in regards to, you know, dieting and physique land, because I was seeing that it was becoming unhealthy. Like, it was becoming unhealthy not only for myself, seeing women going through that, but that fixation on physique was just not good. I couldn't really handle it anymore. I was sort of like, I need to back away from this. Like, it's not necessarily what I want anymore, and I don't really feel like it's what I want to advocate for anymore. I think, you know, I want to make sure though that I always say, like, I don't regret anything. I think it was such an important piece to becoming who I am today, focusing on physiques and whatnot. And I would never say for a second that I'll never venture down, say, bodybuilding land again, or pageantry, you know. But I do think that it really is important to be in a good place before you start manipulating bodies to an extent where, you know, you're getting to a lean place that maybe isn't necessarily maintainable or sustainable long term.
So your goal is health is your goal now.
Pardon?
Health is your goal. Health.
Yes, absolutely. Internal health. It's both things. You know, I feel like more than anything, I've sort of moved in a direction where education is more of my goal. Not that it wasn't my goal to be educated during, you know, manipulating physiques and whatnot, but I think I really have honed in on more of a business side of things. I'm enjoying doing a lot of things in regards to, like, my work ethic. I think that's something that I didn't even notice was lacking a little bit in regards to my actual career. And now that I can 100% focus on that, because I'm not so fixated on body so much, I think it's really gone well for me. I've sort of transitioned into a different area in nursing, and I for sure enjoy that. And I think it's been just such a healthy transition for me personally. Yeah.
Well, this is great. Like, sometimes when we over-focus in one area, we lose focus in other areas, right? So when we strive to be a little bit more like mentally healthy and emotionally stable, not so much like physically, when we have our path so strong one way, we lose our path somewhere else, right?
Yes.
And like, I know, like, sometimes for me personally, when you're always focused on, like, for a long time I was unhealthy because I was trying to be healthy. My goal was to be thin and to diet, be thin and be diet. And then I plateaued and I couldn't lose the last 40 pounds I needed to lose. And I was so unhappy with my body, but I couldn't see that I'd already lost like 80 pounds.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. I
that's something that should be so right? Like, it's
right.
a thing, like how we just focus so much on, well, it's still not good enough.
Right. Even though I'd already come so far. And then when I let that go and I was like, you know what, this is fine, I'm enough. And then it was like a change, like a switch. I literally remember sitting on my couch and being like, fine, I don't even care anymore. It's fine. I'm just going to focus on this and be more grateful, more gratitude. And just started doing more like gratitude journaling and walking and just being more happy.
Yeah.
I didn't even, like, completely stopped dieting and just being more mindful in the words I chose. I've lost more than the 40 pounds I wanted to lose. And it's so funny. Like, everyone's like, what are you doing? I'm like, literally, I'm just being happier. I'm choosing happiness, not dieting. You know what I mean? Like, it's so funny how when you're just more choosing to be more emotionally stable and mentally healthy, for you, just choosing different things that you actually are putting, like, right? Like a little tiny bit every day, instead of being so focused, right?
And actually,
It's
like, I
true.
feel like I had that moment a lot. Like, when I went to Thailand, I remember opening the door to that resort and then almost having like this breath that like invigorated me, I guess. And I just was like, I think I'm done. Like, I think that Holly that I was, I'm going to celebrate her and rejoice and whatnot. But I'm going to close the door on that portion of my life and I'm going to open up something new. And I feel like a huge portion of that was me just saying, it's enough. And I think that's interesting that I say that phrase because Dr. Tracy talks about that phrase a lot. She says, you are enough a lot of the time. And I
Hmm.
remember her actually telling me that before I had left China. She just really said something that meant so much to me. She just said, you're enough. And I really took that. I remember walking through life for that year feeling slightly confused about like where I belonged and isn't this what defined me, my body and all these things. And then I realized that if a body is defining you and that's it, that's that's pretty empty. And then I decided it wasn't worth it for me anymore. No.
You needed a little bit more you out there, right?
Yeah.
Well, I
It
agree.
wasn't
Even
just
I know,
about
right. I've even noticed in your social media posts that like even you're following your content is a little bit different. Like you've always had great. You're great. Your social media, like if anybody's not following your social media, you should. You're very inspiring. I love your social media posts and I love your content. Like it's very like I want to say it's meaty. It's got some great content too. It's not just like fluffy. If that makes
yeah.
sense. You're very intellectual, and I really appreciate your posts. They're great. Um, so for you, the goal is to maintain competition now. That is the goal, is to make, because you're healthy. It's
Yeah.
not like you gave up. You're still maintaining your health. You're still physical. It's not like you're like, and I quit.
Yes,
The goal.
that's right. And that was a hard balance to find too, because I was sort of like, well, bodybuilding defined who I was for so long, and then finding a new identity, I think is really difficult for some women. And I wanted to actually look up what body confidence meant before we met, and I want to just say the definition here. So, body confidence, by definition, is how a person feels about the way they look, which is kind of a dumb moment. But when we have body confidence, we accept and are happy with how we look and what our bodies can do. Now, the last portion of the definition with what our bodies can do was actually what I struggled with because I felt like I was pretty happy with my body and whatnot, but I think the thing that I was missing and that I've come into a little bit more is what I could do, because before I was such an athlete and I really missed being an athlete because I sort of was like, well, if I'm not bodybuilding, I'm not anything. I don't need to be super active. I mean, I was active to an extent, but I never pushed myself because I didn't have a contest to sort of get ready for. And so for
Mhm.
me, it was a transition of finding how I could feel good with myself, but also feel really proud of what my body could do. I wanted to be able to lift things, not be tired, go for walks, go for bike rides, be active with my nephews, whatever it was. And I think that actually was the one that was really hard for me, because once I let bodybuilding go, I had to still welcome activity into the scenario with open arms. Yeah.
Without having a goal,
Yeah, without having a
a
goal, which
stage
was
goal.
hard.
Because you had for a lot, like many years, you had a stage goal always. Like you had a bathing suit to be in, or a competition, like a medal in mind. And that is hard. Without having a goal for a lot of people, without something to chase, what is the purpose?
That's
So the
right.
purpose with health, the purpose is health. And that is hard to find your purpose, to find your why. Why do it?
That's
That
right.
is hard. So the purpose is health. And
That's
that is important. That is for you, for body confidence, to your why is because you love it. You love the way you look, you love the way you feel, you love the way your muscles feel. You need to feel healthy.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I think there is a little bit of a negative thing that is happening, I feel like, on social media. And I'll be careful when I say this. I feel like some individuals are body confident, which I can totally salute and I think is amazing. But I also sometimes wonder, that body confidence, is it also paralleling health? Because sometimes it's good to be body confident, but I still advocate for health. I want to be healthy for me, for my insides, so that I don't fall victim to diabetes, heart disease, strokes, all those sorts of
Mhm.
things. I want to be able to move with children and be able to keep up with the younger generations coming up.
Right.
And I think that's really, really important to not forget as we venture into a more body positive movement in our society.
Right.
That just because you're body confident and you know, we're pushing a body positive sort of movement, to not forget that health still has to be the center of your vision, because health on the inside and your arteries and all of those things, those vessels, that actually keeps us, you know, long term and keeping us healthy so that our joints don't hurt when we're older, or that we aren't succumbing to an illness later in life. So I think that's very important. And I, like I said that carefully because I wouldn't want that to come across as negatively, but I think it's an important
No,
thing
I don't.
to really ride home about for sure.
I 100% agree with you. I totally agree. Like body confidence is empower who you are and love who you are, but always strive, like not perfection, but progress. So yes, love who you are, but maintain who you are. And also, obviously, I was very plus size, but I was obese at one point in my life, but I didn't want to be there. I want to be alive for my children. And I am curvy, but I'm not unhealthy.
Yeah.
Right? So I do work out, I do eat well, I do, but I'm not a size 2, and I'm proud to not, like I'm proud of my body, but I also am healthy.
Yeah.
Right? I don't sit on my couch and just eat, and right? So there is a difference between loving who you are and loving what you look like and being healthy.
Yes. It's
I
a
agree
really
100%.
fine balance there too. And I have
Confidence doesn't mean,
that.
yes, there's a difference between being plus size and being obese. There's a difference. There is. It is healthy is always the goal, and body confidence is always important. Like love who you are, where you are, and if you are like I never not loved myself at 315 pounds, which is where I was at my heaviest. I loved myself, but I didn't want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I made changes in my diet, my exercise, my life to get to where I am now, where I can still be confident. I didn't love myself less. I just loved myself enough that I had to make changes so that I was here for my children long term. Because I wouldn't be if I didn't, right?
Yes.
So I agree. You have to love yourself and be confident with who you are, healthy, for sure.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. So no, I understand you weren't being negative, and I agree with you. And it's true. There's nothing wrong with being full figured and loving yourself, but you do have to be healthy. And there are a lot of plus size people that are plus size but super healthy. Like there are yoga instructors and athletes that are like full figured, and there's nothing wrong with who they are. Like there are girls out there that can work out the skinniest people out there, and there's not, that's fine. They're healthy, right?
Absolutely.
Health is definitely right. Bone structure, exactly right. Yes, I see this. Tasha's saying bone structure could be different and it's true. Densities is different, but healthy is the key, right?
Absolutely. I think as long as there's activity in one's life in conjunction with a diet or an eating regime that is nutrient dense, I think that in itself is health. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? At every age, like in my life personally, I have been many different body types. I have been. Like I've been thinner, like I've been full figured, I'm average now. And I love myself at every stage, and that's important too, because mental health is just equally as important as physical health. And I think they go hand in hand. But the important thing is that you always strive to be healthy emotionally and physically. And I think like you've been extremely healthy emotionally, like physically, like very fit, and now you're more healthy, right? Like you're still more fit than most people. But you're very fit, right? But you're not like stage fit right now.
That's right.
And you're probably in the last year and a half, you've been the most drastic for you personally body types that you've ever been, probably, right? Like in probably three different body types for you, let's say.
Yes, many different transitions in body types, 100%.
Right. So like if you looked at your closet right now, you probably have like an array of clothing, right? Just for your body types. But there's nothing wrong with any of those body types. They're all you, right?
That's
exactly. And as long as you just realize they're all me, I'm enough.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right. As long as you feel like you're enough, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and healthy. Yes, and like Tasha's saying, thin. Like you can be different sizes, and it's true because we always joke that one of my friends growing up, she was like a skinny fat person because she was the skinniest thing ever. But she would hold my son when he was a baby, and she'd like take him back because her arms were shaking because she couldn't hold him because she was like had no muscle. She's like, ah, he's too heavy, and I'm like, he's 8 pounds. She couldn't hold him very long because he was too heavy, and she was like, I'm a skinny fat person. I can't even. My arms are shaking. Like it was just funny. Like she just had no. She's like, I can't, I have no muscle, I have nothing. I have, like, she was just like the skinniest little person and had nothing, like, unhealthy little person. Like, that's what she was, just her little joke was. But now she's so fit. She does like the plank challenge, and she's just naturally like this tiny little bird bone, just like a little tiny person. But everyone thought she was so healthy because she was so skinny, but she's like, I'm not. She would barely eat, and she was just, so you can't judge a book by its cover, right? You just.
No, certainly not.
Yeah, look at, and I was always really heavy, but I was more healthy than she was. But we would, if you were looking at us, you would almost automatically assume that she was the healthy one, right? But
Yeah,
you can't. So I really appreciate that. I love your perspective on body confidence, on how it is truly healthy, and how you went from bodybuilding to pageantry, and how it's true. Like you embodied both stages beautifully. I feel like you did. You represented your country and the world on both stages beautifully, and I thought you looked great in every bathing suit you were. And I love your social media. So after we're all done here, can you share your social media so that everybody who doesn't already follow you can follow you?
sure.
Perfect. And then on one piece of body confidence that you can share with everybody. Is there something that you could share?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I actually was thinking about this too because I knew that question was going to come. I think like for body confidence for me, that like one piece of advice that I would, I guess, say to everyone is being good with yourself is the number one thing that needs to be good for you, and not to succumb necessarily to what everyone else is thinking or what you think they're thinking of you, because that is the enemy of your inner self, is always fixating on what others are thinking about you. If you're good with you and truly good with you, and you're good with how your body is looking and also how you're feeling on the inside about yourself truly, and you're really self-reflecting and happy with what your body can also do, say with an athlete level, etc., then that is enough. Being good with yourself and taking less about what other people are saying into you. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I love that. Thank you, Holly.
Yeah.
So you can follow Holly. So you're going to share your social media, and you can also see Holly at Mrs. So you were Mrs. Canada 2017 and Miss Arctic Ocean. So there are pictures on the Mrs. Canada Globe, and then also Mrs. Globe. There are pictures of Holly, so you can check those out as well. You can follow me at Mrs.Curve Globe and at ALICIAPLOSZ.com. and at Alicia PLOSZ on Instagram. Thank you, Holly, for being with us today. Thank you for following Body Confidence. Thank you for sharing your advice. I appreciate you so much for taking out of your day to be here with us, Holly. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Have a great day.
Okay.
And beautiful, brilliant, brave. Have a great day. Thanks, guys.
See you later.